When you have ongoing exposure to that person who has very strong and ongoing narcissistic tendencies, it just creates all sorts of emotional garbage on the inside of you, like anger and tension and feelings of futility. It's like, oh, why does this person have to keep coming at me with all of these undesirable characteristics? And it brings out the worst in you. You know, the narcissist is a damaged soul, but tell them that and they don't understand at all what you're talking about. They have this attitude that says they're better than you, so it justifies in their mind why it's necessary for them to control whatever they can about who you are and how you conduct your life. They don't receive input well. They have an attitude of entitlement. I mean, there's just so much going on there that leaves you feeling like, well, am I just a nobody? And the narcissist would pretty much say, yeah, pretty much. I mean, when I'm in the room, I'm the one that matters and you don't. And so one of the issues that I find that people like yourself or myself who might be in the presence of that narcissistic person is it creates an attitude of judgmentalism towards that other person. Now, when we talk about having a judgment, there are certainly plenty of positive elements to that. I mean, using good judgment means that you have a value system that you're drawing upon and you're wanting to make sure that the world in front of you is consistent with that value system. You're trying to figure out if somebody's trustworthy or if there's a project in front of you that's worthy of your time and energies. And so that can lead to good boundaries and assertiveness and things like that. And we want to keep that part of it. When I talk about having a judgmental attitude, though, my definition of that would be you engage in excessive criticism in an unhelpful manner. Now, it's pretty easy to take pot shots at that narcissist and criticize, saying, well, why do they have to be this way? And I don't like that. But there are times when that attitude can just become so pervasive that it just takes over your personality, and that's when you know you're in trouble. So today I want to discuss 12 reasons why I don't believe that it's good to maintain a judgmental attitude. And as I go through this, I want you to kind of check this off and see if you would agree with me on these key points. Now, the first reason that I don't want to engage in a judgmental attitude is my judgmentalism keeps me tied to the one that I'm judging. The more I pour my emotional energy into that other person and I'm obsessing in my mind about that person, then that individual and their behaviors and their attitudes becomes the filter system that I use to determine what kind of life and what kind of attitude I'm going to maintain today. And I don't want to be that attached to the narcissist. I don't want to give them that much of me. And so that's why I want to back away from it. Or a second reason that I want to stay away from a judgmental attitude is, frankly, it's hypocrisy. You know, when the narcissist is highly controlling and they have an attitude of superiority and condescension, and then if I respond in kind, it's like I'm being the very way toward them that I'm complaining about them being towards me. I mean, it's sort of like when I'm judgmental, it's like I'm saying, I would never be like that person when I'm being just like that person in the moment. So judgmentalism can actually represent hypocrisy, and I don't want to be that kind of a person. Or a third reason that I don't want to maintain a judgmental attitude is that it perpetuates a cold heart. The more you or I can go into that harshness and that condescension towards the narcissist, the more it brings out the worst in you. You become less kind, you become less friendly and less pleasant, and you become a difficult individual to get along with. Is that something that you want to aspire to? I don't want to be cold-hearted, but when I'm in that harsh, critical mode in a perpetual way, that's precisely the net result. Or how about this one? This would be a fourth reason that I don't want to indulge in judgmentalism, and that is having a judgmental attitude becomes its own emotional prison. There's almost a torment that goes on the inside of me or on the inside of you as you maintain that judgment towards that difficult person. And frankly, I want to be free. I don't want to be in prison that is constructed by someone else. And when I say free, it means I want to choose who I'm going to be. And if I'm so busy playing off of that other individual, then I'm becoming what they actually take delight, what they want me to be, because the more I'm in that tense and agitated mode, then they can play some of their passive aggressive games and say, see, look at you. Now, look how awful of an individual you are. That's why I have to control you. That's why I have to tell you what to do. I don't want to be in that kind of prison. I like freedom. In a fifth reason that I don't want to indulge in judgmentalism is it deludes me into thinking that I have power over that person, that I'm the superior one. And keep in mind, that's one of the primary games that the narcissist likes to play. They like to be one up, and they like to be you to be one down. And having power is something that they just love and they eat up. Now, if we can look at this, it's like, well, I do want to have a certain power in my life, but my power comes from me being me. And when I'm able to hold on to my definition of what I want to be, when I'm able to live consistently with my values and my good judgment, then that means the narcissist doesn't have a hold on me. Criticism is not something that's going to take me to that ongoing place of inner strength and inner peace. Or a sixth reason that I don't want to indulge in judgmentalism is, frankly, my judgmental attitude repels other people. Have you ever been around someone and you know that they have difficult circumstances in their life, and so you dread asking them the question, hey, how's it going? Because you know you're going to get an earful of stuff that you don't want to hear. Well, what if you are that person who has that ongoing negative attitude, and then over time people are thinking, I don't want to be around you. I don't want to hear your gripes and your complaints all over again. Well, the longer you cling to that judgmentalism and the more it sours your disposition, then chances are it's going to have a spillover effect in relationships that, frankly, don't need that. And so I want to make sure that my disposition is such that the tension and the frustration isn't going to spill over towards people who don't deserve it. Or how about a seventh reason that I don't want to be a judgmental person? And that is, my judgmental attitude lets me falsely think that I'm in control. See, one of the things that the narcissist wants to do is they want to direct everything that you do. You can do this and you can't do that. You shouldn't have done this. You're supposed to do this over there. And if I have this judgmental attitude, it allows me, at least temporarily, to think, oh, they're just idiots. They don't know what they're talking about. And maybe that's true. I don't know. But control's an illusion. If I hold on to the notion that says, you're trying to control me, but I need to come back and try to control you, I'm in the game. And all it does is it just keeps me being that person that I don't want to be. Or how about an eighth reason that I don't want to be a judgmental person? And that is, the more I judge, the easier it is for me to hate. Now, hate's a strong word, and I know that there are plenty of people who have had that exposure with that narcissistic person, and the narcissist truly can make things difficult, and I get that. And there are all sorts of circumstances that can just create a clogged up feeling that they're just messing up your life, and it's real easy to go to that place of hate. But then I guess we go back and we ask, is that something that I aspire to? And I don't want to be known as a hateful person. I want my personality to be defined more by my love and my kindness, my goodness, my respectfulness. And I don't want that narcissist jumping inside of my persona saying, here's the path we're going to go. I can't afford to let that happen. Or how about a ninth reason? And that is, when I hold on to that judgmental attitude, it turns my anger into unhealthy anger. Now, there is a form of anger that's reasonable. I get it when you say you feel angry towards that person. That's okay. But the healthy anger is your way of saying, I want to set up my good boundaries. I want to stand for who I am. But we don't want to go so much into the unhealthy anger that it just brings out that sense of venom on the inside of you. I want my anger to be clean, and then when my clean anger is finished, then I'm going to move on to something else. Or number 10, a judgmental attitude is driven by black and white thinking. And I'd prefer to be be a person that goes beyond that black and white. Correct, incorrect, right, wrong. Life can be much more complicated and nuanced than that. I want to be the kind of person that applies introspective thinking. What's going on in that person? And why do they feel the way they do? And why does that trigger me in the way that I am? And I want to guide my actions and my priorities by well-conceived ideas, as opposed to kind of a pre-adolescent do this versus don't do that kind of thinking. I want to be more adult in my thinking. Or an 11th reason that I don't want to indulge in judgmentalism, and that is it keeps me in a defensive posture. The more I have that attitude of harshness towards the other person, the more it's my way of saying, I can't deal with this. And I feel like I'm constantly having to rationalize why my ideas are better. And I have to justify the legitimacy of me being me. I don't want to be defensive. And frankly, the more defensive I am, the more it feeds the other person's offensiveness. And once again, we're still in the game. Or how about the last one? When I'm in that judgmental mindset, I'm more of a reactor towards life. I'm not an initiator. And I want to initiate my own good notions and beliefs as opposed to just playing off of a very unhealthy person. Now, the bottom line is this. I don't like me when I'm being judgmental. It's not the best version of what I want to be. And I'm hoping that you can join me when I say, I can do better than that. You can do better than that. I don't want that narcissist to be the one that says, here's the pace that we're going to have, join me. And it's like, I'm not joining you in that. Now, bottom line also is life is a series of learning experiences. And so when I have these difficulties with that narcissist, rather than going into that harsh and mean-spirited reaction, I want to go to my place of growth and say, what is this teaching me? And how am I going to be a better person by having had these experiences? And that doesn't mean that you can just sing zippity-doo-dah and say, hey, this is okay, because it's not. But how am I going to take these experiences and turn it into my personal growth? And in doing so, that's actually when you gain a victory. So when you find yourself being tempted to go to that place of harsh judgment, I guess the overarching question that you want to ask yourself in that moment is this who I really want to be? Now, I hope that you gain good benefit by watching these videos. I think you know that I enjoy doing this. I really like being connected with you in this way, and I'm hoping this can be a way of us saying we're all in this together, we're all trying to grow, and so I'm hoping that you'll push the subscribe button beneath you so that as we have other videos come up, then you can be apprised of that, and we can keep this process going in a forward direction. I do have some links below to some of my books and some workshop opportunities that are online, and perhaps you can avail yourself to that. I hope that this is something that stimulates good thought in you, and I will see you next time.